Aloha and welcome once again to a League of Extraordinary Couples. Today, I'm delighted to take this powerful 20 minutes of energetic exchange of information with a new friend of mine, an internationally renowned spiritual teacher and author of, I believe it's over 45 books. This is Guy Finley, and he's joining us from his wonderful home in Oregon. And today we're going to explore some of his relationship magic from one of his newest books, which I am thoroughly enjoying. And I'd love to bring the camera over to Guy. Say hello, please.
Hi.
Hi, that's all that needs to be said. So I'm going to launch us into a creative exploration for a moment, if I may. Guy, if you were to describe your relationship as a landscape, how would you describe it?
Every day is a different day. The thing that remains constant is the appreciation, whether I'm looking down from a mountain or up at a mountain from a valley. The bottom line is with relationships, as is intended in the book to reveal, is that all of our relationships are mirrors. So, if you've ever had the good fortune, I have, to be in the Himalayas at 18,000 feet and looking at these peaks and crevices and unbelievable things, that moves you in a certain way that you can't experience otherwise, because you don't get to know those parts of yourself until you stand in that relationship with the mountains. Same thing with the valley. Deep in the valley, all tropical, lush, green, all manner of creatures you don't see anywhere else. Some down there, that's another relationship. And each of these things, Amy Elizabeth, introduces us to ourselves. So my relationship with my wife, almost 40 years, has been a ceaseless exploration of possibilities, of discovering ways in which we can help each other grow. And that's what it is. That's what it will be till one of us pops off. And even that'll be a good moment. I mean, sad, but another discovery.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. I love that image of, first of all, the changeability, that it shifts from day to day. And then that idea that we can be on the mountaintop and the view looking down can be glorious. And then in the valley looking up, and the inspiration and the grandeur in front. And that idea that both perspectives, or all perspectives, from no matter where you might find yourself on any given day, that you and your wife over these 40 years have really been exploring that new landscape each day. Am I getting you?
Yes. And perhaps most important to this first point is there is no experience that any of us will ever have in any relationship with anyone that isn't already a part of our consciousness. This is such an important idea to understand. We believe that people, problems, relationships produce these things in us that they're alien, they don't belong in us, or they're so beautiful, we're so fortunate. But the fact is that all of these qualities already exist in our consciousness, and our relationships merely bring us into an awareness of what we already are. That's crucial to understand.
Yes. And so would it be safe to then take from that and expand that when we feel that beautiful, inspiring landscape of our relationship, that beauty is within us and has always been there, and that the magic of the relationship helps bring that to our awareness? Am I getting it?
Yeah. That's exactly, hold on a second. That's exactly what a relationship magic is all about, is that sudden discovery that inside of us, there is something we didn't know was inside of us. And then bang, and then we, in quotes, fall in love. We fall in love or become attracted to our partner because they help us realize what we don't realize is in us. But here's the point. They also show us things that we don't want to realize are in us. And that's where we have to understand the beauty of love. Love is a uniting, amalgamating, integrating force. And it doesn't stop with just showing us the things that we love, that we want to bind with. It shows us what is keeping us from that unity. It shows us the limitations in ourselves so that by love and through love for our partner, we can begin to realize, you know what, I didn't know that I had that in me. You have shown it to me. Do I like it? No. Do I need to know it? Yes, if I'm going to grow as a human being, let alone if love is going to grow.
Right, right. Yes, I often think of it with just this pithy little statement that helps me all the time. If I spot it, I've got it. Right?
In a way, that's not a bad, my way of saying it is, thanks, I didn't know that about myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because who knew in those moments that something was going to go on like that, where in a heartbeat, I would be, I'd be introduced to something that most of my life I blamed other people for. But now I understand I can't blame another person for the situation. I have to thank them. This is, by the way, for people who are Christian oriented. Love thine enemies.
Yeah.
Those that show us the things about ourselves that we cannot learn in any other way are doing a service for us, even though it produces a certain kind of suffering that we can't understand.
Right, right. I love, in your book, it's at about page 113 or so, you talk about that blame game. It's like getting on the merry-go-round and expecting to get off somewhere else. And I love that because I've worked on that consciously in my own relationships with myself, with other, and with spirit, that I cannot blame. It doesn't get me where I want to go. And so that image of the merry-go-round in your book, I thought was a brilliant insight into pretty much explaining the what's the word? The uselessness of trying, of blaming and thinking it's going to get us where we want to go.
It's really the uselessness of negativity.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and I was thinking about it this morning before we started talking, we know so much intellectually, spiritually speaking. I mean, there's so much information. A lot of it's good. A lot of it's silly, but a lot of it's good. And yet here I am, and my partner makes the passive-aggressive comment. Something goes down at work or with whatever it is, and I'm in the grip of something that is fully convinced the only solution is to ensure you get you're wrong, I'm right. When we really understand, no fight can ever bring an end to the part of ourself that gets involved in it, then we're going to deal directly with that part of ourselves instead of point a finger at our partner as being responsible for the pain. Is there pain in our life because of our partner? You bet. That's almost inescapable. But the other question is, can I use that pain to perfect the parts of myself that I don't know about and gradually make space for the two of us to grow into something more meaningful, more beautiful?
I love that. Allow the space for the two of us to grow, because that is the magic of that relationship. And I so appreciate that we're diving deep. This was my next question, which is, what matters most in terms of dissolving that negativity? So when you notice it, how do you work with it, Guy? What do you do in your own personal relationship?
Well, I'm blessed to say that my wife and I have never raised our voices at each other in 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But we both came into the relationship as we did with an understanding that we're pointing to here and that the whole of my book is about. Want to hear something that's breathtaking, frightening, beautiful, and horrifying all at the same time?
Oh, yes, please.
The original meaning of the word patience, Amy Elizabeth, is to suffer oneself.
Interesting.
See, if I can, if I can understand, look, I'm in a relationship. Now, life itself is relationship. There is no self outside of relationship. And one of my expressions for our broad relationships is that life is like a cosmic swizzle stick, you know, It just keeps moving stuff in us. But the beauty of all that movement is that whatever is buried at the bottom in the dark of us has a chance to rise up to the surface where, call it what you will, love, the divine Christ, living light, where it can be exposed to something that it has never been exposed to. So point, what is concealed can never be healed, period. My partner reveals what is concealed in me. And to the extent I understand that my partner has revealed what's concealed, I must learn to be patient with the parts of me that want to blame my partner for actually helping me heal. Think about that, listeners.
Yes.
We blame our partners for bringing up what is a limitation in us. And let's not play games. If I'm passive aggressive, if I have anger, if I'm resentful, all of those negative states that are buried like old baggage in our consciousness, if they suddenly appear on the wheel and we refuse the appearance of it, we are refusing to be healed. And the only way love can grow is when both of us are going through this very powerful realization we are healed, not just to love one another, but to let love heal us together so that we can know a broader meaning of love beyond our individual relationship with one another, but how love itself has brought us together so that we can understand, wow, there really is a love that is unconditional, that never fails to improve and perfect the person and the partner at the same time.
Yes, yes. I love that you're bringing that beyond just our individual romantic relationship, marriages, partnerships, that we get access to that deeper love. And I love to think of that so that we get resourced enough to be a force for good in the world, to tap into what you call the broader love and to really let that magic take place. So in a sense, I see my relationship, and I wanted to share this with you when you shared the definition of patient, to suffer oneself. I was having a sunrise walk with my beloved husband yesterday morning, and we were going around and I was feeling rather impatient at the moment. And he said, what if we took the word impatient and broke it down into I'm patient? And I thought, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. So I'm going to wed that with what you just shared about patience and just use it as another opportunity to enlarge my heart, to be a force for good, to do this gig called life with greater grace and ease, because this is the magic. This is the magic when we let go of blame.
This is the real magic. The subtitle is Waking Up Together, relationship magic, waking up together. But the original subtitle that the publisher decided they didn't want over waking up together is The Endless Journey of Love. Because we're talking about the fact that if you're impatient with me, what's my reaction to you? I get negative.
Right.
You're always like this, leave me alone. And what I'm really saying to you is you're crowding me. And I don't want to be crowded. It's a mechanical reaction, proper in one respect. But what happens if my partner is impatient with me, and instead of trying to change them or fix them, I give them room to see their own impatience?
Yeah.
By being patient with my partner's impatience, I don't prove to them they have a right to feel that way. Instead, I show them, look, you want to feel like this, I'm not going to fight with you about it. You will have to deal with your own state because I'm not the cause of it. How do you know? Because I'm not exacerbating this moment with my own negative reaction. Bang, something new is open. My partner has space because I've created space in myself by suffering consciously my own negative reaction. And that's how this flowers like a fountain and becomes something much more meaningful than just what I'm going through or what you're going through, but rather we're being taken through something together, something that only love, real magic, can do.
Yes, yes, love it. So my question regarding that is, do you use words in that moment of someone else's impatience and you're going to opt for the somewhat higher road of patience? Do you explain it? Do you breathe?
No, because look, if you explain it, you're proving your superiority. And this isn't about your superiority. This is about your recognition that you are a similarity in that moment.
Yeah.
But the similarity can only change the unity of that when the similarity ceases to be the same negative reaction as has caused it. So I'm actually dying to myself, Elizabeth Amy. I'm actually dying to myself because I have to let go.
Yeah.
I want to prove you're wrong, but how can what is negative prove someone else is wrong?
Right.
I must, as Christ said, physician, heal thyself. I have to start with me, not with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So in saying that, letting go, that's another one of your books that we can guide our audience to, The Secret of Letting Go, and the importance, I guess, I mean, it just sounds, my own ego goes, oh, when you say dying to yourself, but it's like, there's a sweet surrender there. There's a grace that I can feel. And we get something here called chicken skin or the chills. And I'm just covered in that right now because there's something hungry. There's an aspect of me that's hungry for that, to seek fighting anyone or anything.
All of us, for whom it hasn't been destroyed, because it can be, have a real longing to know that we are loved,
right.
And to know that we are loved in such a way that even though we may have the best relationship in the world with another person, it's just a hint. It's an indication of a possibility of being in relationship, not just with the person, but with what brought you together for another purpose altogether, which is to become loving and true and kind, mindful with my partner, but to take that growth into the world with me so that I'm not made insane by a planet that is punishing itself with these ridiculous ideas about what love is. Love never punishes, ever. Love never blames, ever. Love never separates, ever. So if these things are going on in the name of love, you can be sure that whatever it is that's saying this is the proof you love, ain't love.
Powerful, powerful words here. I am inviting our listeners now to rewind that part because I know I'm going to right after the recording, listen to that again. So as we wrap up our juicy interview here, Guy, I'm curious, what's one way that you deepen connection with your beloved?
We have to learn how to listen. But this is very important, not just to our partner, but to what begins to speak and feel in us when we're with our partner. Because until we can really attend to the whole of ourselves, there's no way to attend to the whole of a relationship.
Yes.
The more wholly we are involved in being present and mindful, the more whole of a relationship we discover, because now the separation process isn't being exacerbated by a separate idea of myself as being someone to whom this is being done. Everything is being given to us. This is such a hard thing to understand. We look at a world gone crazy. We look at the horrible things. How can this be being given to us? Because it is helping us discover what part of us wants to lash out and punish those that we don't think love the same way we do.
Right. Whew. I can feel that embodied presence in me just, and I am in the point of writing my first book. So I thank people like you that are paving the way for those of us who want to carry the torch and carry the message. But I so witnessed your fist go from this to this. And that is that releasing that grip of blame, of negativity, of us and them, and into this power of love, as you defined it, the uniting, amalgamating, integrating force that is. And I just love it. That's powerful stuff. So this is a little appetizer for our listeners, a little taste of the profound wisdom that you have to offer. And if you would love to introduce your free gift now, I invite you to do so.
Thank you, Amy. If you're interested, God willing, in what we've been talking about, my foundation has provided a bunch of really nice gifts. If you go to relationshipmagicbook.com, relationshipmagicbook.com, you order the book there at the best price that it can be bought anywhere. And then you get a free audio book of the magic book that I read, you get a free download of a webinar, 3 hours of live material based on this book and questions that were fielded in a live stream. And you get a 60-minute MP3 about the 7 ways in which we can learn to love in a higher, happier way. So you get really a nice bunch of gifts. We do it obviously to encourage people to get the material. Nothing's more important than this. It sounds self-serving. It's not. We have to wake up, and it's waking up together that matters, where we find the magic that love produces when we agree to go through what love will show us about ourselves.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you. We'll have information on all those links below on our daily email.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
what's that?
I say just below. I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll have that information there. And it sounds like whether you're an audio learner or you like the visual words, or just the opportunities are out there for us to enlarge our love capacity and strengthen our heart. And Guy is one of our leaders to guide us on that journey. So thank you so much for your time today. Mahalo nui loa. Great big thanks from Hawaii to you there in Oregon. Love travels at the speed of thought. So to you, and I believe I see your beloved in the background. Hello, beloved. I was wondering if you wanted to join us. So thank you for being there. Going to come over?
This is my wife, Patricia.
Yay! Aloha, Patricia. Lovely to meet you. Yeah. We're here in Hawaii. So I'm going to say goodbye to our listeners. Thank you. Join us again for A League of Extraordinary